Hi guys, welcome to the Connecting Quickly podcast. We're quite late apparently, and for game week one we didn't make a podcast, but for game week two here we are. Post game week two and a review for game week three. Nikhil man, how are you doing?
I'm good. FPL not so good, but I'm good.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. For me, you didn't ask, but I'm doing far better than you in at least FPL.
50
But
points.
yeah, 2 game weeks, 50 points, not a bad average, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 per game week. Maybe next game week I can be ahead 75 points of you.
Ah.
Never mind. That's just me being delusional. But never mind.
Hmm.
So talking about my game week, as you guys can see in my screen, it's 88 points I scored thanks to the late goals from Enrama and Antonio. Not late goals in the match, but at least in terms of game week, we played at Tuesday night, Monday night, and then my captain, as usual, Mohamed Salah, not returning in game week two against Burnley. Of course, he hasn't had the best of the records, but still, it was wise enough to captain him because he's Mo Salah. So yeah, that's it about my game week. Apart from that, Trent and Simicas getting the returns, and Sanchez also providing me the returns standings. Yeah. So, in terms of my rank, I'm standing somewhere between 13,000 and 14,000, and it's been a good start to my FPL. I've never seen my rank being in 5 digits, so kudos to myself, at least for the time being. But I'm pretty sure it's going to go down uh, anytime soon. But yeah, till the time it's going good, I'll enjoy myself. I'll be happy. And yeah, talking about game week preview for game week three, uh, one of the blockbuster matches which is going on, which is going to be Liverpool versus Chelsea. And yeah, and apart from that, some good game weeks that are going to come up are Manchester United versus Wolves. Then there's West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Then there's Brentford versus Aston Villa, and then there's Brighton versus Everton, and Arsenal versus Manchester City. So, and of course, we'll not forget the Leeds fixture, which is Leeds versus Burnley, and many of the FPL managers have tried to bring in Bamford and Rafinha if they were not in the team, and also prefer to bring in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So, Nikhil, bro, what do you
Yeah.
think about the current game week, and what is your take on it? Who are the must-haves in your team, and what is perhaps your transfer for the game week?
Uh, main, uh, I have transferred in Antonio and Benrahma in place of Bamford and Sochek. Uh, I regret not taking Benrahma in the game week first itself, but now here we are. But mostly, if people are looking to keep Shimmick, hold on to Shimikas, but it would be a nice bet to uh, demote him to the bench at least if you don't have funds for Robertson, because Robo is back from his injury, and I don't think Shimikas will play against Chelsea at least. Plus, Lukaku is in form against the Liverpool defense, and Liverpool defense hasn't been tested as much yet. So Lukaku will be the first proper test this season. So I doubt if Liverpool will keep a clean sheet. Even though I'm a Liverpool fan, I want a clean sheet. But I don't think Liverpool will keep a clean sheet. But on the other end, Liverpool may create a lot of chances if Alonso plays. So Trent is a must, and Salah, of
So,
course.
yeah, fair play, fair play. Yeah, given your transfers, Antonio and Benrahma, one of the more important transfers. Together, they have scored 53 points in the two game
Yeah,
weeks. That's fucking amazing, dude. It's like Son and Kane revived and
Com-
performing to the standards that they did in the previous season.
yeah,
And like talking about the stats before game week, like before game week 2, the ownership percentage of Antonio and Benrahma together was just being owned by around 5% of the managers. Now it has risen to what, 20%. Now, and if you don't have either of those two, it is advisable to bring them in because of the current fixture, which is Crystal Palace, and their near run of fixtures, which includes Southampton, Brentford, all those teams. Of course, there's Manchester United in the near future, but even if you remove that fixture, it's supposed to be a good run for West Ham.
yeah,
So yeah, that's my take on it. And yeah, apart from that, there have been many transfers in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Ings has been removed by a lot of managers due to his overall stats. But talking about myself, I chose not to uh, like remove Ings or Tony at this point because I have my players covered, and I can bear with Ings for one more game week before his fixtures take a turn for the worse. So yeah, for one more game week against Brentford, it's good to have him. It's like Ings is always has been a great finisher,
yeah,
and like even if the slightest of the opportunities comes in, he makes sure that the ball is buried behind the net. So yeah, that's my take on it. But in the future game weeks, talking about my transfer, then I'll talk about the future game week. For my transfer, I just bought in. Ben White. Sorry, remove Ben White and bought in Livramento. If you can, Nikhil, please change the
yeah.
image to my current team as to how it looks. Yeah, exactly. So I've bought in Livramento. I had the option of either going for Duffy or Livramento, but considering the fact that Livramento is a better pick for the long run, and I'm not planning to take my wild card in anywhere in the short run. So it's good to back him and see how it goes since he's also 4 million. So I've done that, and apart from that, for my captaincy, I've gone for Antonio, and that's pretty much the main reason why, because he's playing Crystal Palace, and he's going to be heavily owned, and I'm planning to heavily captain. I beg your pardon, and I'm planning to hold on to my rank as much as possible. So I'm going in with the most popular pick, even though people might call it as template, but it's better to hold on to my rank at this moment rather than going gung ho and for chasing rank and dropping myself places in search of
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
So that is my take on it. But lastly, I forgot about the future transfers. For game week 4, perhaps I'll be bringing in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has a great run of fixtures, and he's also on penalties now. So yeah, that's going to be my priority of the targets. And even a few of the players post Liverpool, they'll be having good set of fixtures. And yeah, and talking about Chelsea, Lukaku, after having seen him playing against Arsenal, it was quite tempting to bring him in. But again, I'm not going to rip my team apart just to bring him in. Hence, I'll wait for game week 7, since that's the time when Lukaku's fixtures uh, run for take turn for the better, take turn for the good, and hence that's perhaps the time. And even maybe Ronaldo, he's back to Manchester United. Nikhil, what do you think about it?
He'll be on pens for sure, penalties and free kicks for sure. So
Yeah,
Fernandez's output will decrease definitely.
yep.
It depends. This might bring out a new form or the old form of Fernandez, in like he played in Lisbon. Like he assisted from open
Or
play.
perhaps for
The
Portugal
worst.
national team.
Uh, and I
Uh,
also
I can
feel like
see the biggest smile in your face, Nikhil. Is it just because that Bruno Fernandes is not going to perform, or is there something else?
Bruno is not in my team, so that's why I'm happy.
Makes sense. Makes
Plus,
sense.
but there's also a point if people have Fernandez on the team. I recently saw a stat like already 116,000 people have already transferred out Fernandez. That makes no sense because
Yeah,
Ronaldo hasn't even been registered as of now. So
true.
taking Bruno out of it just before the game week makes no sense. At least wait, and he's a big hitter. So if you wait for a proper time, you can exchange him for possibly Ronaldo or bring in Kane. He's back playing for Spurs. In the future, you can transfer in a good player. People transferring out
And
Fernandez.
I'll not offend any of the fan bases, but who do you think of the groups that is there? Which fan base is going to transfer in Ronaldo and toward Bruno?
Well, United fans obviously will bring in Ronaldo. I'm damn sure about that. Even if
Makes
only
sense.
the genuine FPL players they'll see out. They know the eye test and stuff. They know how to
Yeah,
judge.
yeah.
The,
And talking about us, before he plays a minute for United, we are not going to plan to bring him in any which ways.
yeah,
It's about how he contributes to the team. And just like any other player, once he's registered, once he starts getting minutes, then only we'll see and bring that particular player in. Although it is Ronaldo, there's no need to go gung ho at this moment and rip your team apart. It's time to maintain your sanity. Although the good thing is that there are a lot of big hitters this time around, including Ronaldo and Lukaku, and it's very important to make sure that you own the right big hitters at the right time. So, jokes apart, this is going to be one of the most interesting FPL seasons that we are going to come across in a very long time. Maybe after the time of Henry, Rooney, and all those kind of players. Now that yes, we have got so many big hitters, it's good to be
yeah. Not
careful
everyone
about
will
the big
have
hitters that
everyone.
you have.
So not everyone will have
Exactly,
everyone. So will
exactly.
be a
So
nice one.
that's yeah, that's that, and hence managers won't be sticking to the template as people say. So yeah, uh, so that was it, guys. Thanks a lot, Nikhil, for joining me in for the podcast, and hopefully we get to see you guys for the next game week, and hopefully you have a good game week, Nikhil, you too. And
You too, man.
yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you. Signing off.
signing off. Yeah.